Hey guys, welcome to Witches of the Moon. I am your Monday host, Amethyst Moon, and this week's topic is Samhain. So, with me being on Monday, I know that this subject is going to be some of the things that I'm going to say is going to be covered a lot throughout this week. So I'm going to make this kind of short and sweet. That way, I don't bore anybody with everybody's information that's going to be said throughout the week. However, so this week's topic is Samhain. So, first off, there are quite a few ways that you can actually pronounce this holiday before we get into a little bit of story behind the holiday. To look at the word, it looks like it says Samhain, but actually it's pronounced Samhain, and in some traditions it's pronounced Samhain. When I first started my path, I said it like everybody else says it when you first look at it, Samhain, but it's actually pronounced Samhain. Now, a little bit about it is Samhain actually means summer's end. So Samhain is the last harvest of the year, and in some traditions, Samhain is also the witch's new year. That is mostly Celtic tradition. That it's considered to be the beginning of the new year, or the beginning of the new wheel. The new year, wheel of the year. Bleh. Anyway. Samhain actually predates Christianity. The Christians tried to take Samhain and turn it into, they didn't turn it into anything, but they kind of borrowed it, I guess, if that makes any sense. On All Hallows Eve is also another way it's can be looked at, as All Hallows Eve. It is actually started to be celebrated at dusk on October 31st, and Samhain is celebrated from dusk of October on October 31st all the way through November 1st, where Christians took it as All Saints' Day. And All Saints' Day is a day that the Christians would celebrate all the saints that didn't have a specific day throughout the year. The Christians also thought that this holiday had a lot of evil behind it, and that is completely not the case. To celebrate Samhain, it's a way to celebrate your ancestors and anybody that has passed through this previous year. And one of the activities that can be done during this time of the year is called a dumb supper or a mute supper, and it's where you set up a table and you reserve a seat for each family member or ancestor that has passed, and it's a way of welcoming them back into your life, because it is said that on October 31st, or Samhain, that the veil between the worlds is the thinnest, and you can communicate with your ancestors, if you're lucky, through various forms of divination, scrying, or seances, or Ouija board, or spirit board, anything like that. And it's a way to... I've also read that any spirit that is within an animal is, if you believe in reincarnation, is reincarnated at this time on All Hallows Eve or Samhain. So for your kids to dress up for trick-or-treating was, back in the day, was a way to kind of trick the spirits that were supposedly evil, because it is, it's said from over the years that not only can your ancestors come through, but also demons and other such things. So a way to avoid being seen by a demon was to dress up in costume and as a disguise, so they wouldn't know who you were. So that was the reason behind, that's where trick-or-treating stems from. Now, another thing that is well known for the this time of year, Halloween or Samhain, is jack-o'-lanterns. And a story that my grandmother, my family used to tell me was that it was, and it's an actual story, it's just a little, it's a little tale that, because my background is Catholic, so my grandma always used to tell me these little stories when I was growing up. But my grandma always used to tell me about this guy by the name of Stingy Jack. He walked into this building with the devil, where he would trick the devil, and he tricked him a couple of different times, and over various things. And one of the things that he had done was that he tricked the devil into not taking his soul when he died, and the devil agreed to do this. Well, after he did his second trickery, when he did die, God would not accept him into heaven because of him tricking the devil, and the devil would not accept him into hell because, well, he had tricked the devil into not taking his soul when he died. So he was kind of stuck in limbo, and he would stay there, and he wanders there still now, so to say. And the way to get through to either side was on Halloween, and he would carry around a gourd with a piece of coal inside the gourd, and that was his light to be able to travel this limbo through on All Hallows Eve. And that is where the jack-o'-lantern stems from, because his name was Stingy Jack, and he would carry around this gourd that would have a light in it, and that was his means of seeing, to be able to travel in this limbo. So that was a story that I was raised on before I found my path. And so yeah, so I can't really think of any too much else that I want to talk about specifically tonight, that most of the other members that will, they'll cover them this week. So I'm going to leave you with that, and until next week, blessed be.